Welcome to PLZsoccer.com. We're live at Ibrox. Blair Malloy, our reporter, is there. Off the back of an embarrassing defeat for Rangers in the Scottish Cup. They've been knocked out by Queen's Park, who currently sit fifth in the Championship. And the fallout from that is a lot of angry Rangers fans. And I suppose the immediate question that everybody's asking is, can he survive today still as Rangers manager? I'm talking, of course, Blair, about Philippe Clement.
Yes, Peter, it's the morning after the night before, after one of potentially the biggest cup upsets in the history of this competition. That Seb Dross goal, giving Queen's Park their first win over Rangers in the Scottish Cup since 1882, would you believe? And that's a result that sent reverberations around all of Scottish football. It's one that's being compared to Rangers' past upsets against Berwick Rangers in 1967, and of course against Hamilton, Adrian Sprott scoring that goal in 1987. So it's one that's definitely sending shockwaves across the whole landscape of Scottish football. As for Philippe Clement, as you mentioned, well, he is the man in the firing line right now. After the game yesterday in the post-match press conference, of course, he was bullish. He said he will not hand in his resignation, and managers before have survived worse than this. So he's certainly saying that he's not going to walk away from this job. After the game, he pointed towards the stats. He said that Callum Ferry, quite rightly so, did have the game of his life. Rangers had 28 shots to Queen's Park's just one, but surely that is more testament to Rangers' poor finishing than anything else.
Yeah, and with that in mind, when you look at the record overall, those 9 defeats with the League Cup loss, of course, to Celtic in the final, and over and above that, 13 points behind in the league. There is a breaking point, though, Blair, and that's basically Rangers fans deciding, apart from protesting outside the doors of Ibrox, is just not attending the matches, because out with Europe, there's nothing really to play for.
Well, there's no getting away from it, Peter. Celtic are surely on to win the league now, and that will be 1 trophy out of 6 for Philippe Clement. And in the bigger picture of Rangers, that's 3 trophies out of a possible 27 domestic honours to play for. And I think Rangers fans will be saying that's just surely not good enough. We did, of course, see those fan protests led by the Union Bears a few weeks ago when they walked out taking aim at the board. Not so much Philippe Clement that day, but more the hierarchy within the club. So they've already shown their discontent towards what's going on here at Rangers. However, it is good to know, and maybe worthy of note, that 4 weeks ago today was that briefing by Patrick Stewart to the media when he publicly backed Philippe Clement and said he won't be going anywhere, he's part of the plans. So whether Rangers fans like it or not, I think Philippe Clement's here to stay.
Well, are there 2 mitigating circumstances? The first of them being European football. They're in that top 8. They don't have to play a knockout phase game. They've done well in European football. Is that one of the areas where the board will be taking that into consideration? And off the back of it, let's not forget that Rangers' financial results, 17.1 million loss, looking to raise 8 million. Can they actually afford to sack him?
Well, I think on those 2 points, Peter, firstly, European football, there's no getting away from it. He has done well with this Rangers team to get them into the top 8 of the Europa League and then directly qualify for that last 16. And as we've discussed so much on the channel, Rangers in Europe and Rangers domestically are 2 different teams. So there's no saying what he could achieve when in European competition with this Rangers side. Whether that's enough for Rangers fans, given their poor domestic form, only time will tell. On the second point of your question there towards the financial results, I don't think it's any secret that Rangers don't have a lot of money to play with. You've seen that in January. The only 2 arrivals were Rafael Fernandez on loan from Lille and Lyle Cameron on a pre-contract from Dundee. It's also worth noting and remembering that Philippe Clement only recently, as recent as 2nd of August this year, signed a contract extension until 2028. And with 3.5 years almost left in his contract, that will be a hefty payoff if the Chiefs here at Ibrox see fit that Philippe Clement will be leaving.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. It might actually work out in his favour, but the grumblings of discontent will continue. If anything, when you listen to the manager's words, why should he resign? He's going to be looking for a payoff if they want to get rid of him. And his excuses, I think, are wearing thin on a lot of Rangers fans, Blair, because apart from the fact of talking about the shots they had on target and their inability to score even from a penalty kick in the last 10 seconds of the match, the other aspect of this is he posed the question, could another manager do anything any differently? Well, a million and one managers will say to you, yes, that's the difference, because the Rangers fans let him know what they thought of his substitutions yesterday and his tactics. So clearly, the Rangers fans are wondering why the club has got to a situation where any other manager in the last, 135 years would have been sacked at the position Rangers find themselves in now.
Yes, I think you're right. I think there's discontent bubbling amongst the Rangers support now. He was asked straight out yesterday in the press conference if he'll hand in his resignation. There is a little bit of consternation towards his substitutions. I know taking young Bailey Rice off at half-time yesterday and not putting Finlay Curtis in the team. This is what Rangers fans want to see. They want to see a progression of the young players moved into the first team, because if the results aren't coming on the pitch, they want to at least see a progression of young players moving up from the academy and see that there are green shoots for the future. And I just don't think they're getting that at the minute. In terms of other managers who could possibly come in, you're right in saying there's plenty of managers who will be wanting the job here at Ibrox, although it maybe looked like a bit of a poison chalice over the last few years. It's still certainly a big job to be there for the taking. There are a few murmurings today mentioning number 2, Issam Jebali. Now, he just came in a few weeks ago as number 2 to Philippe Clement. There has been a lot of talk in the press when he left Strasbourg. He wants to become a manager. He moved to the Morocco under-23s. He's a man who's looking for a managerial post, and it's very intriguing that he would come in just under Philippe Clement here. Is that possibly a succession plan that the board are looking to? Who knows? There is, of course, the other looming figure in the background of Steven Gerrard, who just lost his job over in Saudi Arabia. A lot of Rangers fans are looking back. The last man, of course, to win a league title here at Ibrox. A lot of Rangers fans looking towards Steven Gerrard as possibly coming back to dig them out of this hole.
Okay, thanks to Blair. We'll be discussing it in greater detail on the football show at 4 o'clock on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Blair will be keeping us up to date in developments at Ibrox should indeed the axe fall on Philippe Clement. Give us your views on it. Should the Rangers manager be sacked, or is it a case that he has a job to do in Europe and he should be allowed to get on with it and maybe build for next season? Is Philippe Clement the man for Rangers to go forward? Looking at it from a long-term view, if you listen to Patrick Stewart in the last few weeks. So much to discuss on the football show. If you enjoy our content, it's live and of course across all our social media platforms. Hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel to come and join the football family. Thanks to Blair out at Ibrox. We'll keep you updated throughout the day, and join us on the football show at 4 o'clock.